Hello, YouTube. Only 14.1% of you like the rain, like I do. 61.6% like sunshine, and 18.6% like both. Like I mentioned a while ago, I like the rain. And here are the reasons why. Number one, it is easier to get warmer than it is to get colder. You can take off as much clothes as you want, but if it's like 100 degrees, or if it is like 40 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, it's going to be really uncomfortable, sweaty, and just grimy. It's not my deal. Honestly, if you try to get colder, there's usually some sort of electric consuming device involved, like an air conditioning unit or a fan. At the very least, you need something that is moving to help you get cooler. Whereas if you're trying to get warmer, all you have to do is bundle up, do the opposite, right? All you have to do is like wear a jacket, use your blanket or a comforter or anything at all to bundle up, and you'll be fine, right? Number two, it's nice to bundle up and drink hot beverage. My personal fave is hot choco, and you'd be like either watching some TV or just listening to music or reading a book while you're just relaxing on your sofa or bed or what have you. And it's so nice to sleep. That might be like reason 2.5, but like it is so nice to sleep when it's raining outside and it's very cool. And number three, and this is the main point of the video, I grew up poor in the Philippines. I didn't have a car for basically 90% of my education. Maybe not 80% of my education. I got a car when I was in, I believe, fourth year high school. So when I was 17, that's when I was able to drive. And also where my mom was able to afford a second-hand car for the both of us. So I had to do what was called or is called commute, but that word commute means something completely different in the Philippines than it is here where I live right now, the USA. So now I appreciate that I have a car and that I can remain dry. Let me tell you about one of my commutes in high school, trying to get to school every single day of my life for like a year or two. And mind you, I had different forms of getting to school throughout the years. This was one of the worst ones, but it basically doesn't change much until I got a car in the last year of my high school. I would start my commute. I would walk for zero point 0.3 miles, and I this all of the figures I'm about to tell you are accurate because I Google earthed this, if that's even a word. I'm making it a word. I Google earthed this and measured it with a ruler tool in that application. This is pretty accurate. I mapped out and remembered all of the different horrific paths I had to take. I would walk zero point 0.3 miles from my house to the outside gate of the village. I would then take a tricycle or a trike, right, to a market area. What is a trike or what is a tricycle? This is what a tricycle looks like. And I would ride that for basically half a mile to a market area outside of my village where there would be multiple other modes of public transportation. And this is what a tricycle looks like. By definition, three wheels, and this is where we would sit. And this part is dangerous, but as you can see, people can actually sleep there and do other things like eat food or whatever. So we would sit inside and we would take that ride all the way to the market. And then after that, we would walk again for 0.21 miles to wait and ride a bus. The bus would then take us about 4.07 miles all the way to a little store we call in the Philippines a karinderya or a sari-sari store. It's basically like a really small little shop where you buy random knickknacks or whatever. I would wait there for my school service, which was basically a paid carpool van, and we would then drive for 5.58 miles to an all-girls school beside ours and be dropped off at the 6.01 mile mark of that trip and walk to my high school for about 0.26 miles. It sounds short, right? It's actually not short. It's that process took roughly 2 hours of my life. Every morning, I would wake up at 4 a.m., probably around 4:30 actually, because I would snooze all the way to 4:30, leave by 5 and get to my classroom at 7 a.m. or 7:30, more or less 7:30. Let's count how many times I changed my mode of travel. There's walking, there's the bus ride, and there's the carpool van, and then the final walk. So that's about 5 times. 5 times I had to be exposed to the elements in one trip in varying lengths of time. And the process is longer, obviously, getting home. I believe it took me about 3 hours in reverse. So, oh, by the way, this is what a bus looks like. That bus that we took in the Philippines looks like this. It had no air conditioning. You enter through here, and basically the windows are open. Very loud, not really that comfortable, but it's pretty safe for the most part. But it's this rides really aggressively for the most part, and that's what a bus would look like in the Philippines. I would also sometimes ride these. These are called jeepneys in the Philippines, and yeah, it's a death trap. Basically, you see 10 people on one side and another 10 people here. You notice there are no seat belts, nor are there any working doors. There is basically one big opening here where you enter through here and hope you don't fall away. And sometimes people would actually stand over here or hang from here if the jeep is already full. So sometimes I would alternate between a bus or this, or a tricycle and this, because this is more common in the Philippines. And this is what an FX looks like. It's a little more expensive because it has air conditioning. When I was getting home, I usually just use this at the end of the day to give myself a break. So when it is raining hard and I'm driving somewhere, I would be so happy that I am dry and I don't have to get out of my car until I get to where I'm supposed to go to. That luxury that I have now was something that I didn't have for a huge part of my life, like about 16 years of my life, 17 years of my life. I didn't have that luxury. And now that I have it, I am so glad that I do. The rain makes me appreciate more of the things I have now and the things I didn't have before. So that's why I love the rain, because I didn't have much growing up and now I do have a little bit of something, and I can relax at home and stay at home if I wanted to. And if I did have to go absolutely go out somewhere, I can drive my car, ride one way to wherever I need to go, and no segues to like a random school or picking up people in the middle of like the path or whatever, or trying to catch that bus or trying to catch the tricycle or trying not to get your stuff stolen. And I've had my stuff stolen in the middle of those trips. I think one of the commutes during that bus ride, I got my MP3 player stolen when I was in high school, and I cried so hard. And it was an MP3 player. It wasn't an iPod or whatever, because again, we weren't rich. We had enough money to get me to a private school, and yeah. So let's leave it at that. Next time that you feel that the rain is just too much or whatever, try to appreciate what you have. You try to appreciate that you are actually under the roof or something, or that you are warm. And if you're not warm, if you're currently belted by the rain or exposed to the elements, all I can say is just, I guess, try to work hard. Use that as inspiration to work hard and get yourself in outside of that situation. I'm not trying to preach, nor am I saying like, oh, look at me or whatever, but I'm saying use that as a drive. Just use it as your fuel to, if it matters a lot to you, use that as fuel to get out of that situation. But yeah, that's why I love the rain. By the way, the thumbnail of this video isn't clickbait. It is an actual picture I took when I was in the Philippines. This was taken in December 2014, right after we right after work actually. They dismissed us or let us get home early because there was a storm, a huge storm in the Philippines, just like any other day pretty much. They gave us time to get home like an hour earlier than usual. That's a good thing about the rain, which I loved as well, is because they actually, even private companies let us go home if the rain was too much or something. Uh, Well, I'm not even gonna go into the rain if you're in school. Like, there's a joke in the Philippines: the older you get, the more waterproof you get, because in when you're in elementary or preschool, as long as it's like drizzling, it's already canceled classes. But like if you're in high school, it has to like be signal number two, which is basically like belting rain with winds of like 60 miles per hour or something. And when you're in college, it's pretty much like you're waterproof. And if you're working, you're like you're a scuba diver at that point. Like you're part of the rescue team at that point if you're working. But that's the joke in the Philippines. But yeah, this is real. This is an actual event in the Philippines that still happens to this day. This is a major avenue, road, highway, whatever you call it, in the Philippines, and I was right in front of the traffic. Unfortunately, that was the part where the water was too high for my car, my sedan, and I couldn't drive past that. Some buses could probably, and I saw some buses when the flood kind of ebbed a little bit. They drove through the flood and went through the highway, but most cars they cannot ride this flood. This is like 12 feet of flood in front of me, and I was scared because it was slowly rising and I was right in front of the whole thing. I think it took like 45 minutes before it like finally the sewage system finally kicked in or something. But there was so much rain and I was scared for my life. I thought I was gonna have to like stand in front of my like or stand on top of my car rather. And it's one of those things that like when it rains in the USA, I kind of laugh because especially in Texas, it rains like my mom calls it like as if like a cat just pissed or something. There's nothing. Like it's literally just like rains for 5 minutes and goes away. That's it. But mind you, I have had experiences in Texas where it was really strong, and it kind of reminded me of the Philippines. But yeah, Philippines being a tropical country, it'll take some amount of global warming before Texas gets there, because we literally name like the storms with the alphabet. So we run out. We actually go back to A. Like it would be named like Isha or something, and then all the way down to Zendaya or something, and then go back to like A and go through 26 storms and then back again by mid-year. We're not even done with the year. We're already back in the first one. So that's how strong the storms are in the Philippines. So rain is something there. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. So again, that is not clickbait. That's a real photo that I took way back when in 2014, about 9 years ago. So yeah. Comment below if you love the rain and why. If you don't love the rain, I don't need your comments. I do need your likes though. So thank you for watching. Have a great day.